Hello viewers, this is Geronimo Reader and I'm back with another video. Today we are going to read The Cavemice 14th edition, Shoo, Caveflies by Geronimo Stilton. So let's begin. Dear mouse friends, welcome to the Stone Age. Many ages ago, on prehistoric Mouse Island, there was a village called Old Mouse City. It was inhabited by brave rodent sapiens known as the cave mice. Danger surrounded the mice at every turn. Earthquakes, meteor showers, ferocious dinosaurs, and fierce gangs of saber-toothed tigers. But the brave cave mice faced it all with a sense of humor and were always ready to lend a hand to others. How do I know this? I discovered an ancient book written by my ancestor Geronimo Stilton. He carved his stories into stone tablets and illustrated them with his etchings. I am proud to share these Stone Age stories with you. The exciting adventures of the cave mice will make your fur stand on end and the jokes will tickle your whiskers. Happy reading! Chapter 1. Pickaxe has returned. It was a mouserific spring morning. The cactus flowers were blooming, the pterodactyls were cawing, and a cool breeze was blowing. But a perfect day for a celebration in Old Mouse City. On that day, the greatest explorer in the prehistory, Paleo Pickaxe, was returning from his latest exploration. Oh, I'm so scatterbrained. I haven't introduced myself yet. My name is Stilton, Geronimo Stilton, and I'm the publisher of the Stone Gazette, the most famous newspaper in prehistory. It's also the only one. Paleo Pickaxe is one of the many friends I have met during my cave mouse adventures. I don't know if you know this, but a few months ago, Pickaxe set off for a place called Mount Mishmash, and he's been living there ever since. No one has ever been there before, well, except Pickaxe, and legend has it, the weather there is very strange. In one small area, you can find mountains, the desert, snow, the forest, a volcano, and even a river full of fish. Anyway, as I was saying that, morning at dawn, led Eddystone, the village inventor, pointed the long eye, our prehistoric telescope, toward the horizon. It's Paleo Pickaxe, Leo gasped. Immediately, Gossip Radio, the most confusing radio station in prehistory, run by my rival Sally Rockmousen, spread the word. Special edition! The first shouter from Gossip Radio yelled. Pickaxe has returned! Special edition, the second shouter called. Pickaxe has been burned. Special edition, the third shouter yelled. Secrets have been burned and churned into cheese. Holy boulders, what ridiculous journalists. To spread the news the right way, Old Mouse City needed a real journalist, which I am proud to report I am. So still half asleep, I darted to the wall that surrounds our city. Almost all my fellow citizens were gathered there, including my candid sister, Thea, and my obnoxious cousin, Trap. Well, look, who made it out of his cave before noon today? My cousin teased. Thanks for joining us. Of course I am here, I squeaked, rolling my eyes. I'm the only one who can report the news responsibly. Meanwhile, the citizens of Old Mouse City waited impatiently for Pickaxe to appear. What do you think Pickaxe brought back for his beloved village leader? Ernest Hefty Mouse wondered aloud. Maybe he found a pretty dress for me, his daughter Harriet Hefty Mouse added. But then, everything looks pretty on me, right, Geronimo? I gulped. Harriet had a crush on me, though I didn't feel the same way. I didn't want to be rude. Yes, I stammered. Very pretty. By then, Pickaxe was at the doors of Old Mouse City. He was sitting on the back of a Cartosaurus with a caravan of other Cartosauruses, bearing gifts, following close behind. The explorer wore a white beard, a happy smile, and snore. Suddenly, Pickaxe was struck by one of his famous Stone Age slumbers. That's right, our explorer friend is also known throughout the land for one strange trait. He falls asleep without warning, and nothing, not even the trumpeting from the horn of a Triceratops, can wake him. At that exact moment, disaster struck. Look! Thea shrieked. We turned to find Tiger Khan, the fanged leader of the terrible saber-toothed tigers, and his band of felines drooling over Pickaxe. Chapter 2. Not us. Ernest Hefty Mouse encouraged the citizens of Old Mouse City to help their fellow rodent. Come on, everyone, he squeaked. Pickaxe is about to be devoured by the saber-toothed tigers. We have got to save him. Who's with me? No one squeaked. I noticed Timid Tail was trying to sneak off to his cave, and Worry Whiskers had just fainted. Fossilized feta. Things were not looking good. Pickaxe was a courageous mouse. In fact, he was incredibly tough. But how tough can a cave mouse be? Possibly when he is sound asleep. Luckily, my sister Thea took control. I'll handle this, she insisted, facing the crowd. Citizens of Old Mouse City, who hates the great explorer Pickaxe? She asked. The cave mice looked confused. Not us, they murmured. Well, who likes Tiger Khan and his band of cats? This time, the cave mice responded louder. Not us, they chorused. And who would like these rotten cats to eat all the delicious treats Pickaxe brought to share with his fellow cave mice? At this, my fellow cave rodents jumped up. Not us, they shrieked. Then let's go get them, Thea cried. And so the citizens of Old Mouse City scampered to Pickaxe's rescue, shouting out like a gang of Yellowsauruses. Meanwhile, the saber-toothed tigers were already digging through the food strapped to the backs of the Cartosauruses. Well, what do we had here? Tiger Khan sneered. You are so kind to bring us these delicacies. We'll eat them first before we gobble you up, dirty rats. Right at that moment, Pickaxe woke up. He spotted Tiger Khan pawing through his gifts and let out a defiant squeak. Stop right there, he shrieked. Then he grabbed his club and hit the feline leader right on the noggin. Bonk! A loud echo followed. Of course, your big head sounds completely empty, Pickaxe observed. Tiger Khan let out a roar. But before he snagged Pickaxe, one of the saber-toothed tigers interrupted. Boss, we might need to think of another meal plan, he suggested, pointing. Tiger Khan stopped and looked over his shoulder. Thea had done a fabulous job rallying the troops. By now, the entire population of Old Mouse City was charging toward the tigers. Thea was in the lead, swinging wildly with her club and sending the giant cats fleeing with their paws up. Tiger Khan urged his nasty cats to counterattack, but not everyone listened. Some of those cats were afraid. Still, others couldn't refuse their boss. Let's turn these cave mice into cave mush, Tiger Khan growled, cheering them on. At that moment, my cousin Trap grabbed a huge bunch of banana from a Cartosaurus. He launched the bananas at the pack leader, hitting him in the snout. Smack! A big cloud of flies rose out of the bananas. They swarmed around the leader of the saber-toothed tigers. Then the strangest thing happened. One of the flies bit Tiger Khan on the shoulder and then chomped on my cousin Trap's tail. Within seconds, the two rivals collapsed on the ground and began snoring away. Pickaxe turned as pale as a slice of fossilized mozzarella. Oh no, not them too, he whispered. I wanted to ask Pickaxe what he meant, but there was no time. A snarling saber-toothed tiger was headed my way. Back-breaking boulders! I was done for, finished, extinct. Chapter 3. Stone Age Slumber. I closed my eyes, preparing for premature extinction, when Thea rushed to my rescue. Take that, you oversized kitty, she squeaked, chucking a giant watermelon at the ferocious saber-toothed tiger. The fruit splattered all over the place as I raced for safety. Phew! Saved by a whisker. More caveflies swarmed out of the fruit. Bzzz! Shoo, caveflies! Thea ordered. Then she grabbed an armful of melons and began rolling them at the oncoming saber-toothed tigers. Ernest Hefty Mouse and the rest of the cave mice joined in. The tigers did their best to avoid the juicy obstacles, but soon they were getting hit by more than just a few melons. Head of crisp lettuce struck them between the shoulders. Tomatoes splattered over their fur, and bits of carrots stuck in their whiskers. What a Jurassic food fight! The tigers were so busy fending off the fruit and vegetables, they didn't notice the dinosaurs that were galloping toward them. Bones and stones! They were the Old Mouse City dinosaurs, and they were led by Thea's Autosaurus Grunty. It didn't take long for the dinosaurs to trample over the nasty cats. "Ow!" yelped a saber-toothed tiger. "Every cat for himself," meowed another. "Wah, I want my mommy," wailed a third. The felines were wiped out like Paleozoic bowling pins. They dragged the sleeping Tiger Khan with them as they scurried away, but two ferocious felines managed to hide behind a bush. Unfortunately, none of us cave mice noticed. We were too excited, celebrating our victory over the rest of the tigers. "Yippee! Hooray! We did it!" Thea wrapped Grunty in a warm hug. "You're my favorite Autosaurus in the prehistoric world," she squeaked. Now, we only had one little problem to solve. Trap had fallen asleep again and was snoring up a storm. How was it possible letting him sleep with all this racket? I wondered aloud. Right then, I heard a sound. Buzz! The pesky fly that had nipped Trap and Tiger Khan was still flying around. Pickaxe tried to shoo him away with a palm leaf, but he had no luck. "What kind of strange fly is this?" Thea asked, curious. "It's not just any fly," Pickaxe explained. "It's the terrible snoozer fly. Its sting causes a strange illness, the Stone Age slumber. It's the same illness that I suffer from." "Really?" Thea squeaked, her eyes growing wide. "You mean you were stung by that little pest?" Pickaxe confirmed that he had been stung many years ago. "In those days, though, I didn't know there was a remedy," he added. "I was just about to ask about the cure when I saw something." I sniffed the air suspiciously. Sniff, sniff, sniff. "Holy boulders! I smell tiger!" I cried. "Oh, calm down, scaredy mouse," my sister scolded. "The cats are gone. Now let's hear about that remedy." Pickaxe explained that the only way to cure the Stone Age slumber was to drink a tea made from the petals of the putrid PU flower. The tea needs to be consumed within 3 days of the bite. Pickaxe continued. "Well, what are we waiting for?" Thea responded. "Let's go find some." Unfortunately, finding putrid PU flowers wasn't going to be easy. Pickaxe explained that the flower was extremely rare. "I myself have traveled the world up and down and left and right and have never seen one," he said. "Rocky rat traps," I squeaked. "It sounds hopeless." "Not completely," Pickaxe went on. "I said I had never seen one, but there is someone in Old Mouse City who has." "Who?" Thea asked eagerly. But right then, Pickaxe's eyes closed and zzz. He fell fast asleep. Who could it be? Thea wondered. Meanwhile, behind the bushes, the hidden saber-toothed tigers were asking themselves the very same question. Chapter 4. Stick Out Your Tongue. Thea and I loaded Pickaxe and Trap onto Grunty and returned to Old Mouse City. Just as we arrived, my cousin woke up. "Hey, what happened?" he asked. "Where are the tigers? Where's Tiger Khan? Let me at him." He punched the air with his paws. The tigers took off a while ago," I informed him. Then Thea explained how the snoozer fly had stung him. She also told him about the putrid PU flower, the only cure for the Stone Age slumber. "You mean to tell me that now I'll have the Stone Age slumber too?" Trap exclaimed. At first, I thought he was upset about the news, but then I noticed a huge smile plastered on Trap's snout. "This is great," he announced. "Finally, I have the perfect excuse to sleep as much as I like. I can just curl up in my cave and chill like a woolly mammoth." My sister and I looked at each other in a panic. Then Thea turned to my cousin. "Of course, you could sleep as much as you want, Trap," she began. "But imagine this. You are about to bite into a delicious piece of cheesy toast and bam, you start snoring." Trap turned pale. "Or you fix yourself a nice sun-melted cheddar soup," Thea continued, "and boom, you fall dead asleep with your face in your clay ball." Trap's eyes opened wide in horror. "Holy Megalosaurus, what a nightmare!" he exclaimed. "Sun-melted cheddar soup is my favorite." Then he began to wail uncontrollably like a little cave mouselet. He loudly blew his nose on my outfit. "Honk!" Cousin, please save me from this tragedy, he cried. Find me that flower, get me the cure. Please, you have got to help me. In the end, we decided to take Trap to the hospital. We figured he probably hadn't had a checkup in a while and it wouldn't hurt him to get one. Well, okay, maybe it would hurt a little. The Old Moss City Sickly Center is enormous with rooms carved out of the side of a mountain. Unfortunately, as we approached the entrance, we could hear mice crying and complaining. Wah! Ouchie! Help! Trap stopped walking. I don't like the sound of this place, he mumbled. Maybe we should come back tomorrow, or the next day, or never. But Trap, you need a checkup. Thea scolded him. It won't be that bad. Finally, we managed to drag him into the hospital, kicking and squeaking. Even though Pickaxe was still asleep, he had no problem moving around. He was so used to this Stone Age slumber, he had somehow trained himself to sleepwalk. We watched in amazement as he slid off Grunty and sleepwalked right into the OMCSC. Before long, I found myself surrounded by a group of 3 doctors. Oh, look who it is, the first doctor exclaimed. It is Geronimo Stilton, the newspaper mouse. You're looking a bit pale, Stilton. Maybe you need a little checkup too, the second doctor suggested. Actually, I feel fine, I replied. But the doctors didn't listen. Stick out your tongue, the first doctor ordered. It's so slimy. Next, the second doctor tapped my knee with my hammer. Youch, you're so sensitive, he commented. Luckily, Thea dragged me away before I really got hurt. Gotta run, she called, and she wasn't kidding. At that moment, Trap was racing after the sleepwalking Pickaxe. Suddenly, Pickaxe woke up. What were we squeaking about? He asked, as if nothing had happened. You said you know someone who can find the PU flower? Thea reminded him. Oh yes, Pickaxe replied. The journalist Sally Rockmousen. Fossilized feta, not my historic. I mean prehistoric rival, the head of Gossip Radio and the most dishonest fur-pulling cave mouse of the Stone Age. What a megalithic mess. So guys, we have completed chapter 1 to 4 in this video and we'll complete the book in the later videos. So to keep up to date, subscribe my channel. And if you like this video, please hit the like button too. Thank you and have a nice day.